with the Boswells. I am Cassandra, and I am so grateful to be here co hosting On the Road to 25 with Helena. Helena, say something to the
I am so glad to be back
audience.
this on this Thursday, giving
Yes,
some more tips and ideas and some things that teachers have experienced during COVID and after COVID.
yes,
So this
yes.
week we'll be touching on things that happened after COVID and how we're dealing with it in the
Each
classroom.
of them play an important, extremely important role in the growth and the educational development of the child. Still, and so suffering the parent, the teacher, and the students post COVID, after COVID, it's a bunch of challenges in the classroom, at home. And so I read this article, a May 2022 survey found more than 80% of public schools reported still stunted behavioral and socio-economical development. Okay, in their students because of the COVID-19 pandemic, a 56% increase in classroom disruptions from student misconduct, and 49% increase in rowdiness outside of the classroom. All schools surveyed reported a 55% increase in student tardiness. The use of cell phones, computers, or other electronics, when not permitted for all students, increased by 42%. It's just continually, constantly, all of these different barriers to prevent young people from getting the education that they need. We need help. We need suggestions. We need help because these are challenges that are affecting our young people where they can't even get the education that they need, and they were already behind. Now they're even further behind due to COVID and all of the challenges. So tonight we're going to talk about some of those challenges, and hopefully once you recognize the challenges that are going on, it will give you a better understanding, and maybe hopefully things that you could do to prevent the barriers so that your child can really get a fruitful education, that they deserve. So with that being said, Helena, here's our first question. We know that uh post there were post COVID challenges transitioning from home to now in the classroom. Tell us some of those transitions and those challenges that the teacher faced.
Okay, so right now we're still seeing the balancing the different learning styles. So because we were on the computers, there was basically only really one way to really communicate through the computer. But in
Okay.
the classroom, there are many different styles, such as hands-on learning, where you're doing group activities. There's activities where you can work individually, and so we're seeing that the kids are still having a hard time of working with their peers and learning to like do group activities, for example. Also, just doing hands-on activities because some kids are have to put their hands into it in order
Yeah,
to do that work. And so, if you're doing math, they have to use math manipulatives, and so that's a hands-on activity. And so, we're seeing that we're still having some of those challenges with the students not being able to transition smoothly into those like they
what
usually
would be
would.
some recommendations that the teachers, as a teacher, you could, support other teachers or tell, some recommendation or techniques or tips they could use during these challenges or transitional stages?
Well, just introducing it. So slowly introducing, maybe if you're doing hands-on activities. So if you're doing activities and they need to be able to use manipulatives, uh, teaching them how to use those manipulatives and then using them maybe a couple of times a week and
Yeah,
then slowly introducing it to them. And then it might become something that you use every day or every other day, but giving them a chance to have that experience. Um, with group,
absolutely.
with group activities is just slowly maybe just one one student and just two students in a group, and then slowly introducing maybe four students in a group. That way they can share their ideas That's some ways that you can like slowly introduce it to them instead of just shocking them with, oh, I want to put you in a group with 10 kids. Put them in a small group with just one or two of their peers. That way they all get a chance to share and they start learning how to share, how to take turns, and how to listen to others.
Absolutely.
Also, another thing that we've seen in the classroom is managing behaviors and trying to make sure that the class is safe. So that's something that we're having, it seems like still troubles because it seems like a lot of behaviors are starting to now arise because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because of students being at home, behaviors wasn't noticed the way they would if they had been in school. So just managing these behaviors, working with the parents, working with the administrative at the school to get the behaviors under control, and also making sure that the other students are safe in that classroom. We noticed some loss of instructional time. So due to COVID, we noticed that there is definitely a lapse in education there. And so we're still trying to work to develop the skills that's most important to complete or do the work so that the students are able to complete and do that work. And we have to remember that we have to definitely give them some time to catch up, because remember, they were working on the computer. We were giving them skills, but they weren't getting as many skills as they would if they were in a classroom. So definitely giving them that time to adjust.
Excellent. And again, that's the teacher. We're talking about the challenges that the teachers are facing. These is different things that they were able to get throughout the year, but because it was such a rapid pace that they had to do during COVID, the time was shortened, so the lesson was shortened. And you got to remember that. So if you couldn't give me everything, like, if I was a car, if you put me together and you didn't give me all of the pieces, I'm gonna fall apart down the road. So it's like you got to remember that, with you don't have all of the information, you can't do the best job that you can do. And so even though the teachers was given what they was assigned or they were told to give, it was still missing information because of lack of communication and technology issues and things like that. So those were some of those challenges that right now, while the children are in school, this is after COVID, it's still going on, challenges and issues that they are going through. So we hear you, we feel you, we understand that those are still challenges. And again, like Teacher Helena said, there's things that you can do, partnering with your teacher to make sure that these things can come about. That again, the young people are the one that's benefiting when you guys have this olive branch, this relationship that you're working together to better the student relationship. And so with that being said, we're